How's it going, man? How is the Tuesday treating you so far?
It's good, man. We got up, we got the kids to school, we got a little workout in. Now we're hanging with you.
Yeah, love to hear it, man. Sounds like a good day, especially the hanging with me part. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly, right?
But yeah, man, it's really cool that obviously always doing things, staying busy, Michael. I know you got the tequila business going on now, like a lot of things. Can you break it down exactly all the what I guess the fingers in the pot that you got, all the things going on, man?
Yeah, we got a lot of things. I mean, I like to stay busy, you know. Obviously we only get the opportunity to fight a couple times a year. And obviously I'm training year long, but I've been given some great gifts to be able to do some great business stuff. I've been doing some more speaking stuff. I just wrote a book. We got a documentary that we're filming right now. And on the business side, yeah, obviously hiatus tequila. Um, some real estate investing, trying to hopefully sell a property this next month or so. Um, and just staying busy with all my different partners and sponsors and just people that I have brought into the family over the last 16 years of fighting. And, always thinking about the future and hopefully the White House in June next year.
That's amazing, man. Congrats on, the book and everything. Like, do you ever get tired with all these things? That sounded like a lot you just listed off there.
Yeah, I think sometimes, yeah, sometimes I'm like, okay, we got a little bit too much. Let's figure out. I mean, it's always good. I think it's better to have more than not enough, right?
Right,
Just
right.
add things and also I'm always just kind of in an exploratory mode in my life too, where I'm just like, hey, what makes me tick? What at this season of my life, at this age, after what I've accomplished, this year, what fuels me toward the future, And sometimes you look at things, you're like, okay, that doesn't really fuel me anymore, or that doesn't provide for the family enough. And it's just kind of cool to be connected with a lot of different people, doing a lot of different things, enjoying the fruits of my labor, spending time with my family, and yeah, you just kind of you got to pray for wisdom every single day and figure out what makes sense and what doesn't make sense.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's the beauty of life is that it's kind of a never-ending journey, right? You can always limitless things to pick from. So I don't think you'll run out anytime soon, right?
That's the plan, man. That's the plan.
So yeah, man, I'm very fascinated by this post-fight ritual series that you were a part of. I mean, just kind of I guess walk me through how we got there, how it came together, and I guess what it was like, being a part of it.
Yeah, no, it was really, really cool. Obviously the UFC and Threads have a partnership and it's kind of just I think it's highlighting the uniqueness of all the different fighters. What we do is fight in a cage for a living, right? And it all looks similar, but we're all unique individuals and we all have our different rituals, our different habits, our different things that make us driven in life. So to highlight, kind of obviously I'm a very physical being on the kind of surface. Everyone looks at me like this big tough fighter guy, but from the human aspect, there's a lot of different things about me, a lot of different layers about me, some of which that we just talked about. Um, of how do I when I get done from getting a crazy fight camp and then a fight, how do I come down from that? What is my why outside of just fighting in a cage? So it was really, really cool. It was a really awesome shoot. And I can't wait for everybody to see it, and even more of it and the different layers and just how they did a really, really great job. And I'm excited for everybody to see it.
Yeah, man, and I'm not just saying this because it's like Threads versus Twitter at this point, no, but I feel like you were never much of a Twitter guy, at least lately, maybe backed off, and this is just me speaking, but and objectively, I think it got a lot worse since Elon came on and took over, but that's just my opinion. But in terms of Threads, like, I mean, how I guess has it been kind of readjusting to these platforms and connecting with the fans and all that, which seems like something you definitely enjoy doing when you can.
I do. I love it. And I think, I don't know if I do the best job at it, but I do always try to keep front of mind and be grateful for the fact that yes, it is me fighting in an octagon and it's me and it's my career, but my slogan "See you at the top" that I coined from Zig Ziglar, kind of carrying on his legacy. The whole idea of this, yeah, this is my journey. I'm fighting in the octagon, and you're not fighting with me, but we're all going on this journey together. And I'm going to win, and I'm going to lose, and I'm going to laugh, and I'm going to cry, I'm going to smile, and I'm going to be sad. And we get to kind of connect with the fans because without the fans, without the people who are interested in the sport, without the people who are interested in my career, you're really just doing it it's a fool's errand. You're doing it for no reason other than just your own glory. So I love connecting with the fans, the community on Threads. Um, and whether it be through videos, whether it be through pictures, or whether it be through just talking back and forth, engaging in conversation, agreeing with people, disagreeing, finding common ground, and even just talking to people who maybe we come from two completely different walks of life, but we're all uniquely human. We are all in this together, and it's been really, really awesome to engage daily, multiple times a day with thousands and thousands of people, and that's just what I like to do. I realize we got a short window of opportunity on this earth throughout our entire life. Why not connect with as many people as you possibly can?
I love that, man, because I'm like a big preacher on. I don't know, that's not fair to say, but I really believe in like, we can get along. We don't have to agree on everything. That's kind of the beauty of connections and finding, the multiple perspectives without just kind of getting locked in a vacuum or an echo chamber type thing. So, I really like what you said there, man. So, um,
Absolutely.
yeah. And there was a quote that you had for the series, right? Was that you used to hold on to a loss because you were afraid to face it, right? Can you explain that a little bit to me?
Yeah, I mean, I just gave a keynote last week on it, and it's kind of overcoming failure and fighting your way back to the top, continuing to pursue the best version of yourself. And I think no matter what avenue you choose, you're going to have failures. You're going to have setbacks, and I would even go as far as to say that the failures are a prerequisite to the success that you do desire, because it turns you into a more formidable human being. And yeah, when I took my first loss back in 2013 or something, and it just absolutely crushed me because I wasn't ready to lose
Mm,
and I didn't know how to face it. And I just held on to it for months and months and months, didn't talk about it, didn't face it. And then now, as I've grown as a human, as I've grown as a man, I've had a lot of wins and a couple more losses. You start to realize that the losses aren't as detrimental as you think they are. If it's your goal to go undefeated, it's almost impossible, especially in this sport, in any walk of life, really.
yeah.
So the losses are going to come, so you have to be ready for them to happen, and then just talk about them. Wear your heart on your sleeve. Talk to the people that you know, love, and trust around you. Talk about it publicly. I mean, for me, selfishly, I get on a microphone after every single fight, whether I win or lose. I get on a microphone at a local podcast here in town, bussing with the boys, or I come here in my studio and get on my own microphone and talk about it, because once you let it out into the airwaves, into the ether, into the universe, once you speak it, then it takes its grip off of you. And that's just
Mm,
something I learned over the years. And I do think it makes me more relatable. I think it makes me more human. I think if I just only talk about my losses and I only post pictures of me flexing and being this big tough guy, you kind of turn you kind of turn yourself into less of a human being and more of a superhero type of unfallible figure, which nobody can really relate to,
mm.
And I think that's what's beautiful about what they did with Threads in the UFC and highlighting different people's mindset deeper than just the punches, kicks, knees, and elbows, who we are as human beings, because ultimately it makes us more relatable. As you talked about, on this earth, all of us are just human beings trying to figure this thing out. Nobody's got it figured out. You don't have it figured out. I don't have it figured out. We're just trying to figure it out. We are in constant pursuit of trying to figure this whole thing out that we call the human existence.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I mean, it's a lot harder to grow in denial, right? So I think it's an
It is.
acceptance versus denial thing for
That
sure.
that's exactly that's the exact kind of mistake that I made. I was just like, well, if I just deny it, ignore it, and not
Yeah.
talk about it, then it'll just maybe eventually go away and I'll get past it. Nope. Turned into three losses in a row, and it was a bad time in my life, but I grew as a human being because of it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, we've seen that firsthand. So with that in mind, Michael, like which loss would you say you held on to the most? Would it be that first one or something else come to mind?
Yeah, no, it was definitely the first one. The first one was the most impactful because, my wrestling journey was a very slow grind from freshman year of high school all the way to senior year of college. And I had a lot of ups and downs, and I finally kind of grew into a great athlete mentally, physically, and spiritually. But then in the sport of mixed martial arts, I just won and rattled off 12 wins in a row, finishing almost every single fight, finishing guys in the first or second round. Um, I think nine or 10 of my 12 wins were by finish. So I was just finishing and dominating dudes. So it was just, it got to the point where I was just like, well, this is never gonna, maybe I never will lose. And all of a sudden I did lose. And then I had to learn how to, okay, now I got to figure this thing out. Now I got to figure out where do I go from here. And it was that first loss to Eddie
Mhm.
Alvarez in a rematch. Big fight, lost the belt for the first time. It was the first time I felt that in years. And, since then, obviously, I've had a couple more losses that have helped me grow as a man, but that was the first big one.
Feel like it probably doesn't help that, in my opinion, Michael. I don't know how you feel about it now, but you should have won that fight. Definitely think you were slightly robbed in that one.
It
And
was
obviously,
cool.
that
I
was a
think that was
weird time too in Bellator.
It was, which was great though, because it gave me an opportunity to just fall even deeper and deeper into the self-deprecating
Yeah,
hole. Because then I could blame the judges, I could
right.
blame the referee, I could blame everybody else, right? Because you felt like you got wronged, which is a scary place to be, because
Yeah.
you're like, if I know that I lost, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, maybe it would have been easier. I mean, I guess easier, but I would not have grown as much. Um, but ultimately, yeah, I was able to just blame other people, blame the judges, and turned into three losses in a row.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, it led us to a good spot. So
Yeah.
here we are now. Um, so, like, I'm very curious, Michael, and like, I mean this in the most respectful way possible because I definitely count your Bellator title reigns as like, very prestigious and obviously a Bellator goat and all these things. One of the most exciting lightweights of all time. So I'm curious, like, for you, man, having yet to achieve like the UFC champ status, have you reached a point or get to a point, as life goes on and we get older and all these things, do you reach a point where you're more satisfied with being in these consistent bangers, right? Like your fights are always exciting, some of the best we've ever seen. For my money, the first Alvarez fight is still like the greatest fight of all time.
Yeah.
But does it reach a point where you're more, satisfied with that than being champion, or is that always like gonna loom over you until you get it?
It's a good question. I mean, I think I haven't cared about being a world champion for a very long time. I think if we get so focused on the big goal, then it's just going to make you a less effective fighter, a
Mm.
less effective human being. So I don't say that to say that I don't want to win the title. I
Right.
don't, but I guess that's always been the goal, but I never really wanted to talk about it too much because all I could really focus on was being a world champion today. I got my two workouts today. I'm going to be a world champion in these two workouts.
Mm.
And when my kids get off school, I'm going to be a world champion dad. And when I want to take my wife on a date, I'm going to try to be a world champion husband, right? And then it's just like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you take these small little incremental steps and you do the small things right, then and only then can you be trusted in the big things. So of course, the goal is always to be the number one guy in the world, the number one lightweight in the world champion, the UFC world champion, because that's something I have not accomplished yet. But I don't think that I look at it as I'm not, I don't, obviously I would not reach the goal, but I still know that I did every single thing that I possibly could in order to achieve that. And if you know you have that certainty, then you're doing the best that you possibly can. So I don't say that to say that I don't want to win the world title. I would love to win the world title, and I plan to win the world title. But I think it's just showing up every single day and doing the small things correctly.
So two of these are probably pretty unlikely at this point, Michael, but I'm curious, like, if you could pick in this dream world, who would you rather try and get redemption against between Pitbull, Alvarez, and Will Brooks?
I think Alvarez.
Okay.
And it's not really redemption or revenge or any of that. I think it would more just be a much bigger fight or a more fun
Mm.
fight, a fight that excites me. I don't really care to fight Patricio again. I don't even know if Will Brooks is still fighting at
Yeah.
this point. So I think, and obviously Eddie's, I guess, toward the end of his career, maybe he's still in bare knuckle. But I
Mm.
think me and Eddie back in our prime when we were supposed to fight the third time, I would love to get that fight back. I think that would have been a fight that the fans wanted to see. It was a fight that everybody wanted to see. He pulls out a week before. I, with my big old ego and pride, I was like, forget it. I'll fight anyway, even though I was dealing with a back injury and I fight Will Brooks and that didn't go, it's just
Yeah.
bad decision
Snowball.
making all the way around. But like I think me and Eddie, man, we made some magic for 25, no, 25 and then like 45 minutes,
Yeah.
a 5 rounder and a 4 rounder. He's a stud, man, and will forever be etched in my I guess my journey.
Hmm. Oh yeah, like I said, man, I will never forget that first fight. Just lives rent free in my head, man. So fun.
Yeah.
Man, I've wanted to always ask you about this, Michael, since the day I saw it. But the old Purge promo, man. Do you remember that video you did?
I did, man. Me and my so I'm actually like I was telling you, we're doing a documentary right now. A guy who's been capturing my career over the last 15 years is a great dear friend of mine. His name's Drew Gabreski. Um, and for some reason, we just had this idea, and we actually filmed it on a green screen. And I dressed up. I still got the suit that I bought from like Goodwill or something with like a tie and a shirt that didn't really fit, but it didn't
Right.
matter because I put the jacket over top of it. We put white makeup on my face to make me look extra pale. Um, I really liked it, man. It was good, and it was just kind of a off the wall, kind of complete opposite of who I am. Like
Right.
in real life, I'm like this nice, caring, funny, loving guy, and then I just wanted to play a character, so it was fun.
Yeah, it was great, man. Where have these gone? We got to do some more.
Dude, I know. I need to. We've actually had a couple ideas here and there, but we have not pulled the trigger. So
Mhm.
maybe now that we got a little bit of time, maybe we'll do something cool and cook something special up for you guys.
Oh yeah, there you go, man. So we'll see whoever the lucky recipient is for the next fight
Yeah,
or whenever it comes, man. But
yeah,
of course, Michael, I'm very curious to get your thoughts though on the Conor McGregor news, as you guys have been linked obviously for the past couple of years, and unfortunately still have yet to fight. But very fascinating developments. Not sure how close you've been following it, but missed three drug tests, which resulted in his suspension, which is already going to end before the White House date. So there's still that possibility, right? But it was just very interesting, I think, to see the fight. Your guys' fight get canceled the same day as I believe it was his last missed testing. Just kind of what are all your thoughts on the continued developments of what's been going on with him?
yeah. I don't really know anything other than what you guys know when it comes to the failed drug tests. We know, or not failed drug tests, the
Yeah,
failed whereabouts.
right.
And we all know that we've got it all on our phones. Where we're at, putting our locations in so the UFC or drug-free sport can come and test us whenever. And we all know if we have three missed tests, it is a whereabouts failure. It's not a failed drug test, but you will get a suspension. And obviously, it was retroactive to what, September of last year,
Yeah.
which makes it, March he would be able to compete. So I don't know a ton about it. All I know is I've never missed a whereabouts failure. I've never pulled out of a fight, and I've never missed weight. So I'm just a professional all the way around.
Mhm. Well, I guess kind of the thing is, does it make you second guess the legitimacy of his injury with the timing of, that, what I guess it was the first or second one then, if it was June,
No,
right?
well, the June was when we were supposed to fight, but the fight got canceled. The fight got canceled like June, 13th or 15th or
Right.
whatever it was.
Which was the
Um,
same day as, I believe, yeah, with the first one or one of them.
Well,
So,
I think yeah, from what I would guess and surmise is that, obviously he and I both wanted the UFC to get the fight rebooked. If you got a broken toe, let's just push it back a month, push it back 2 months. And I think the UFC was maybe a little bit gun shy. Hey, we're going to let this thing play out for a second. Let's let you completely heal up because we can't take the chance of promoting another fight and you pulling out of the fight again. And he was probably, I don't know Connor that well.
right.
You don't know, we don't really know
Yeah.
Connor, but I would imagine his psyche is like, all right, well, forget it. If I can't fight, I'm just going to miss these drug tests. You're not going to come drug
Mm,
test me, and I'll fight whenever I can fight in a year or whatever. That's my guess. So we'll see. I guess maybe we'll get more information, maybe we won't. But all I know is he's ready to go as of March 2026.
yeah, for sure, man. So that leaves you in kind of a spot where I know you're not necessarily waiting on him anymore as you have fought, since things did fall apart. But like, if you got an offer to fight before the White House, as that's your goal, like, would you still take that one, or were you kind of at holding out for it? How are things? Obviously, very
Yeah,
busy in life in general.
yeah, busy in life in general. But also obviously my main job is to be a UFC fighter, fight in the UFC. If we had a interesting offer come in, a fun name, a fun, exciting fight, we would obviously consider it and kind of look at the timeline of things. But we'll have to get more information. It's a day by day process right now, trying to get more information and figure out what we're doing. All I can do is keep the main thing, and that's focus on me and my career, staying in shape, working on my businesses, loving on my family, and keep on doing awesome things in life.
So I admittedly think this is always a weird question to ask fighters, Michael, because I'm going to ask you like how much longer you want to do this for, and I know why I say that is because I don't feel like if I was a fighter I could think about that, right? If you're still trying to be the very best and win the title and all that, so is that even something that is crossing your mind, especially with all these things going on and maybe a timeline where you're like, all right, if I don't become champion by this point or anything like that?
It's a good question. I mean, honestly, if you would have asked me in my 20s, I said I'd be retired by 35,
Right.
and here I am 39 and I still feel phenomenal. I still still train just as hard. I don't wake up all beat up. I mean, my body feels great. I've taken care of myself. So I think longevity has been something I've been focused on for the last 10 years of my career. And just being smart, So I don't think, I mean, I feel great. I really do. I think a little bit of time off with the whole Conor thing was actually a great thing for me.
Mm.
I fought was it 6 fights in 26 months, So it was a lot of fights. Um, Plus I did a whole extra training camp for when I was the backup for Khabib Gaethje, so I was just nonstop.
Yeah.
And every single fight was fight of the night, fight of the year, debut, knockout of the year. Like it was a crazy run that I went on that I needed a little bit of time off, and I enjoyed that time off and took care of my body and focused on my mental health. Um, so I don't have an end in sight. I still got a lot of tread left on the tires. I still feel great. We'll see what the future holds. All I know is I'm holding it with open arms, and whatever comes my way, we're gonna make the right decision at the right time.
Well, hey, man, yeah, I'm not suggesting you should retire or anything. I love watching you fight and want you to stay around for as long as you physically can because I don't want to see
Yeah.
you get too hurt or anything like that. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
feel I feel great. I really do. I always said I was going to Barry Sanders it and walk away before
okay,
before everybody was ready for me to walk away. I think I'm a little bit more past that now. Like I said, I thought it would be 35. Send in a fax, send in
yeah,
an email. Hey, I'm out. Uh, but it hasn't happened that way.
right,
I think the most successful part of my career really started at 34 years old when I signed with the UFC,
yeah.
and everything just went. So these last 5 years have been nothing short of amazing. I love being partners with the UFC on all these huge fights. I give them my very best. They give me their very best, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's been amazing getting to chat with you, Michael. So before I do let you go here, I want to ask you one last thing, man. It's been great. Again, thanks so much for the time, man. But I don't know if you how like often like the weekly shows you catch up with on UFC, but like UFC Vancouver, we continue to see I mean, the fouling issues and like controversy with judging and refereeing and whatnot. And with all your experience, man, I'm very curious to hear what you think about like just kind of the whole, I guess, status of where I mean, it's almost legal to cheat in MMA these days, like with the point deductions not happening. Where do you kind of fall, I guess, in terms of like how many warnings people should get? Like, how enforced should fouls be, man? Because that seems like it's getting a lot worse lately.
Yeah, that's a really hard one because it's every single one is so subjective, and every single, it's unless you actually spar, fight, you're out there and know, the opponent has a vote. You think he's going left, really he goes right. You think he's going up, he's going down. Like there's so much going on, not to mention the fact that you're tied onto a tornado, not to mention the fact that it's a competition in front of millions of people, not to mention the fact that it's a crazy out of body experience, and I know, we are talking about there were some low blows in the last one and
Yeah.
or the last fight. It's so subjective, and everything is up to human error, and it is really tough. I don't feel like I've ever really been in a scenario where I was like, man, I really got wronged by the judges on that one or the referee on that one. Obviously it's going to happen and everybody's got their own opinion, but I think that's one of the beautiful wrinkles about mixed martial arts. There is no computer, there is no, review, there is no, I like where it is right now. But it is always left up to interpretation, the court of public opinion, and human error at any given moment, which makes the sport even more exciting. Um, so I don't know. It's above my pay grade. I'm just going to show up and hopefully nothing foul happens.
Right. No, just go out there, finish them as quickly as possible. You don't got to worry about it. So,
Yeah, that's always the goal. That would be nice.
yes, absolutely, man. So, all right. Well, on that note, Michael, yeah, thanks so much again for the time. It was great getting to chat with you. Always great getting to watch you fight. And I hope, I just wish you the continued best success with everything you got going on, man. It's a lot. So I can't, let me know when the book comes out too and all these things. I'm very curious about what you said, the documentary, a lot going on again. So I appreciate that, man. And I'll leave you with the last word on when these releases are and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. No, thank you for the time. We're not sure yet. We got the book manuscript done. It's nice and long,
Oh,
nice and
nice.
thick, 140 something pages. And we're starting the documentary here in the next couple weeks. But it's just, I always wanted to set out to change the people's view of what a mixed martial arts fighter is and how they operate and how they do things. And it's always been my goal. So obviously with the book, with the documentary, speaking and doing a bunch of different stuff, I just want to make people feel something. You're going to feel something when you watch me fight. You're going to feel something when I talk about life. So stay tuned. TBD. Sometime in 2026, those two things will release.
All right. Love it, Michael. Well, I'll let you get on with the rest of your day, man. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, we'll stay in touch. But until then, have a great rest of your week, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you, man.